Okay, let's begin doing the cover. Now, the cover of an album, in my opinion, is where each one of you who create a mini album, this is the opportunity to really get creative and do something fun. Decorating the cover, sends a message, set the tone, or if you can just do something pretty. And sometimes just making it nice and plain is also nice. Um, it's very individual. So I said at the end of the previous video, and I'm going to repeat it now because maybe some of you haven't been watching the videos in chronological order. But I kept on the side these two pieces, and I also have somewhere, I think I have an additional piece that's like this big, but different pattern, like similar pattern. I don't know where I put it now. Obviously, I was just not prepared. All right, it's somewhere here. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, I don't know. It's somewhere here. But I put those aside, so you should have them. To cover the album on the outside with this pattern paper. And we left this in purposely in case you don't want to use rice paper or any of the methods that I'm going to be using. If you just want to keep it simple, you'll have a pattern paper, and then you can embellish it with the cutouts, die cuts, flowers, whatever you want to do on the cover to decorate it. Okay, it's very individual. So what I'm going to do for myself for this album is I'm going to cover it with rice paper, and I'm going to be using some embellished pieces that I prepared ahead of time with the mold. So it's some air dry clay that I used, and maybe I'll add some flowers too. I don't know, maybe we'll see. Okay, so let's do first things first. I have two pieces of chipboard here that are 6x6, not chipboard, sorry, these are mat board. And the mat board is a lot more flexible than the chipboard. It's used to mat photographs, so you can find it in any art supply store that make frames. Just plain white core, a mat board. And I like using that because it whatever I use adheres nicely to it, and it's not too thick and heavy, but it's still sturdy, and it will add some dimension. I also have a piece that is 2 inches wide. So these are my 3 pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it on the outside of the cover. And okay, let's again leaving the frame around of about 1/4 of an inch, like that. And the back side. I'm going to apply the rice paper, and then I'm going to cover it with some, I think I'll do some glossy gel. And then I'm going to let it dry, and we'll paint the bolts a little bit. Okay. There we go. And we'll do the back. on the spine. Oh, just remember that I forgot to add my ribbon. I don't even know if I want a ribbon. Do I want a ribbon? Maybe we don't need a ribbon. Let's add a ribbon. I'm going to put it up a little bit so I can add a little ribbon. Yeah, so yeah, don't do what I did. Just do it before you put the board up. Okay, that's one. Do the other one. Okay. Okay. So we did that. I'm just pressing it down. This glue dries quickly, so it shouldn't take long. It's very strong. It'll hold it good. Okay, right now, both sides of the album are equal. Doesn't matter where you started from. As soon as you put the images on, you will define if the album opens to the right or to the left. Okay. I'll take this one first. How pretty. Now the question is, do I want it in the front or no? Maybe I'll put this in the back. Because if I put it in the front, it takes up the whole thing. If I put it in the front, I want the window to be on the right and not on the left. So I'm going to cut it here. and there like that. And now I can put it on the right over here. Then I can put this like that. And it'll be cut about here. Okay, I'm just measuring it, and I think I need to take a little bit more off from each side. So it can go over the white border, but not over the page. Like that, it's good. Okay. I also don't want it to go over the ribbon, so I'm going to cut this here a little bit. Okay. Let's see where my palette knife is. And I might have left it by the sink. Okay. Take some glossy gel. Okay, this is using glossy gel right there. And it's like a thick glue that dries clear, and if you put it on top of the substrate, it makes everything adhere really nice and thick and strong. And you can also put it over your mixed media, over your paper or whatever it is you're gluing. So this is not a mixed media work where I'm going to be, I needed to wet it. Like a lot of times I will wet my rice paper when I'm putting it over canvas or something, or a hard surface. I don't do it here because I have paper underneath. So instead, I'm just using the glossy gel underneath, like that. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit on the top. And spreading it. I don't want a thick layer on top, just want a very, very thin layer, and it will seal it. And so you have glossy gel, rice paper, glossy gel, like a sandwich, and it will seal the rice paper in between the two layers of the gel. Okay, look how pretty this is. Okay, so when you put the rice paper over white substrate, it'll make the images pop. But over here, I put it over the craft color paper, so it blends in because the craft color becomes the background. Okay. All right, so now I want it to dry a minute. Let's help it out. With my heat gun. Make it dry a little faster. Okay. Let's see what I'm going to do on the other side. Let's take this other rice paper. Let me see. That's why I don't like working with gloves. Everything gets stuck to them. I'm going to put this over plastic because if I put it over paper, it might get stuck to the paper. Okay. So this one, I can just cut this piece here, and then I can wrap it around like that. Okay. So all I want is to cut it here at just about there. I don't want to cut it with the cutting machine because I want it to be a little more organic. But I can still cut it with scissors. It's just not as straight. See, I'm not trying to cut it straight. I have it a little bit going like that. Okay, so we'll go here and here and over here. I need to cut somewhere here. I think it's still a little bit too long. Okay, if I need to trim it a little bit more, I'll trim it a little bit more. That, and let's take this piece out. Okay. All right. Okay, let's put it carefully. Okay. All right. And do the same thing. Gonna cover. And I'm just making sure that it's nice and flat. So I'm going over it with my palette knife and making sure it's flat. And I'm going over the seams where my mat board ends. Just don't press too hard because then you can tear it off. Very delicately. So the rice paper will stretch and go inside the areas where it's raised by the mat board. And it's okay if it's not laying 100% flat, it's still great because we want a little bit of that texture, that rawness of the paper. It gives it a nice vintage look, you know. So I have a little bit of leftovers there. I'm just going to wrap it around. Okay. Take your time when you do it. Don't have to rush it. Be gentle because it's rice paper. So if you're too rough with it, press too hard, you know, it might tear. Even if you tear it, you know, it's okay. You know, we're looking for that little bit distressed look. Okay, so I'll try to show you in the light how it's covered. And you see that there are, you know, you can see the palette lines going through. It's not going to be nice and flat. It's going to be a little bit textury. And I have a bit of a texture there. I'm going to go over the spine a little bit more, I think. No, the spine looks fine. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on the side for now and I'm going to let it dry. Okay, looking where I can put it so that it's out of my way. Okay, next I'm going to paint some of my elements. So again, this is one thing that you don't have to do. This is an extra thing with embellishment that I think adds a lot. And that's the reason why Stamperia comes out with molds and die cuts and all these additional things. You know, it's to enhance the collection so that you can take those different things and add them to whatever project you're doing. So I happen to really like those tiles that they have in the A5 mold. And I used the air dry clay ahead of time and I made all those impressions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint them, and then I'm going to add them to, you know, my collection in different places. So I'm going to take some pink, this rosa here, and so KAL 16, KAL 69. I have the white KAL 102, some gray KAL 88, some brown KAL 106, and some brick color KL 20. All right. And I need a napkin. Do I have one here handy? Let me go get paper towel. Okay. There we go. My daughter always says that I always steal the paper towels from the kitchen. Yeah, I do. And I don't want this brush. I want another brush. Maybe I'll take this one. Let's see. I don't know what brushes I want. These are too big. And this one also is big. All right, it'll do. Okay, so these are with the clay. I don't think I need to prime this. I'm not going to prime this. Just going to give them a basic paint. And watch, I'm not really going to give it too much thought. And on the side, I'm going to put some white and some dark. And some brown. And some gray. Okay. And I'm using a wet brush, not a dry brush. Because I'm working with gloves. I don't like working with gloves. But I just got a fresh manicure. I don't really want to ruin it. And I don't want to be spending 3 hours cleaning them. Okay. Okay, let's do some green. Yeah, just have fun color, you know, coloring, blending, mixing, so that you'll have, you know, it's not like a color between the line kind of thing. Just really mixing those colors together. Okay, I don't even know if I'm going to use all of them, but for now, that's what I'm doing. I'm just coloring them all. Okay, taking my the white and just go over in some areas like that. Going on top with the brush, just tapping on top so it just touches the raised area. Okay, and get some dark in here. Okay. All right, almost done. Okay, so what I've done, I started painting it. I started with the bottom with the wet paint, and as I got to the top, I used drier paint with a dryer brush, and then I just tapped it flat out. So if you have an area that is raised, if you tap it like that with a flat surface, it's only going to touch the area where it's raised. So instead of using my brush this way, where the bristles is on the bottom going inside the creases, I used it this way so that only this area here of the brush touches those parts that I was painting. Okay. So what you get is inside is painted on the first layer that I colored, and then on the outside You see the dark areas touched only the raised area of the mold and colored those. So you'll get those differences in colors. And I'm just really trying to get it to dry. Okay. And now what we can do is we can use some kind of wax, or even if you don't have a wax, you can take just paint and rub it on. But let's see what happens when I take this Sarantica wax. I'm going to take it a little bit here. And I'm rubbing it on. So it gives it a more like an antique-y kind of look. Pretty? Okay. Let's do the same way. This one. I'll do it close so you can see. And I'm just putting a little bit and adding on as I go. Don't put too much, because if you put too much, you'll smear it right in. But I'm blending it in. And that's what I get. Now I want to go over the edges a little bit. And I'll do that in a minute. I'm going to do these with a different shade. Okay, now another method that you can do after, let's say you painted it, okay, let's see if I have it here. Maybe I can use this. You can take like a file or something, and you can just rub it off. And that's also adds some distressing. But instead of adding paint, you can remove it. So that adds a little bit of interest like that. See? That's cool. I think I still would like to add the dark on it in some areas. All right, add some shade. Okay. this one, and this one. Okay, and you can take another color, take a little bit of the bronze and do some other tiles with the bronze. That bronze is a very, very strong color. So pretty. Isn't that pretty? I know. Add some touches. Oh, so pretty. Look how pretty. You see? Oops. Really pretty. Okay. All right. This is it. This is done. Oh, I forgot this one. Okay. Pretty. Okay, let's clean up a little bit. And take my pieces. All right. Okay, I'm going to take the paint out of the way. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to take the pieces that I want to put in the front of my cover. It's still not 100% dry, almost. You can use a little help. It's pretty dry. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I have all of the parts left over here. And this, everything is just a little busy. Little birdie. Things are beautiful if you love them. This is cute. I have greetings. This is cute. Okay, we'll do this one. And we can do a tag. No, it will cover. It's too much. It's very busy. So trying to find cute things. Now, how about we'll just do this here. We'll just put a few flowers, maybe. that, maybe this one here. Put this here. Maybe we'll put a couple of flowers there or something. Yeah. Okay, like that. And I'll make this one raised a little bit. Okay. Yeah, something like that maybe. Okay. And let's take some twine. Can take some lace maybe. Okay. Yeah, we'll do some fibers. Okay. This, nope. Maybe this. don't know which I'm going to use yet, but I have some fibers. All right. I'm going to take a little bit of the ink and go over the edges here a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put this one over a hard piece of board. Like that. And okay. To clean the corners down. Okay. Like ink this baby. Okay. Now it will be sturdy. Whew. I resort to all sorts of tools to open my glue. It's so strong. And this is the end of my bottle, I think. Almost all used up. Okay. So I'm using Extra Forte glue, which is really strong glue. I'm going to glue this one here. And then this here. And this little baby right there. I'm going to cut this here, put this there, like that. I want this one to go here. Let me take yeah. Okay. This will go there. Like this, or like this. Yeah, like that. Okay. One flower here. Like that. More or less. Make a bow with these two together. No, it doesn't come out good. Again, Okay, I think that's good. All right, some lace, some fibers. You just have to let it dry. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to put these pieces here. Okay, and this is the last piece that I'm going to put together. After that, what I have left over is I'm going to go over all of the pieces that I have left and make some tags, make some photo mats, embellish my album with all of the elements that I created. Okay. Okay, let's put this together. And here are my 4 signatures. Okay. But I'm going to use a combination of tape and glue. I'm putting tape on both sides of my hinge at the tip of the hinge, not at the bottom. I'm going to leave the bottom alone. Okay, where is my little thingamajiggy? Okay. And when I apply the pages onto the hinges, I try that they won't go all the way to the crease, so that the crease will be able to fold easily. Okay. Okay. Okay, now let's see where my front side is. This is my front. So my pages have to go this way. And maybe I'll put this in the front. Or this one, special days. It's really hard to decide, right? Or this. Okay, you decide whatever you want, however you want the arrangement to be. Okay, I'm going to take part of it out. I'm going to see where my opening is. It's the pocket between the two pages that I attached together. And that's where I am fitting it right into that hinge right here. Okay. And I'm fitting it here so that it's not all the way to the bottom. It's about a 1/4 inch away. You see that it sits straight. When I'm happy with it, take this out. And now let's take the other side out. Okay, here we go. See, it goes nicely from side to side. Okay. Second page. How about we'll do this one as the second one? Yeah, or this one. We'll do this one. Take your time. You don't want to rush it. He just doesn't want to go. Okay, here we go. It's there now. Okay, got it. Okay, number 3. Okay, and last one. Okay. Here we go. And this will go like that. Cool. Okay. Now over here, what should we do there? No. That we don't know. maybe this tag. Maybe we won't do anything. We can just put this on. Maybe just leave it like that. I don't know, it doesn't add to it. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Yeah, I think it's plenty. Okay. I'm going to take this one, the Home Sweet Home. Put it here. No. I think that's it. I think that's enough. I'm just going to add more embellishments, more tags, and finish it off. Okay. All right, guys. Next tape up after I'm finished will be the walkthrough, which will be probably the first one you'll see, and we are finished. If you have any questions, always feel free to send me a message, and I will try to answer in a timely manner. You can reach me on YouTube in the comments below, on Facebook, my email, my website. I'm reachable everywhere, so I'm not going anywhere. I hope you like this project and that you'll find it useful. And I can't wait to see what you make. All right, thank you so much again for trusting me with your crafts, with your creations, and I hope you like doing this. Bye.